Welcome to Feisty Chess. I've got black against Jose PC. Let's play some more Alekhine's defense. I'm still working some of this out. Okay, e5 is of course the main move for white here. But that's another one. Now I can choose e5 myself to go into the Vienna game. And Jose PC probably doesn't know the Vienna game all that well. So let's do that. Main moves here are bishop c4 and f4. He'll probably just play knight f3 though. Most people go into the 4 knights, which I haven't had too much of on the channel. So here we are. We've transposed to the 4 knights. And the Spanish 4 knights, the line that I know is this copycat line. Okay. Well, I'll just carry on here. I don't think that move is worth copying. Yeah, h3, I mean, it's not a terrible move, but kind of slow. I like to spend more of my time getting my pieces activated. All right, let's do that then. Well, let's go for this. Okay, I'm going to kick him to b3 and then bishop e6. Kind of resembles a Ruy Lopez. All right, I like this actually. I've opened the file for my rook. This is one of those examples. I think maybe knight g5 was a better try for him. Then I probably would have taken on b3 and he would have opened up his a rook there. But this is nice because I've opened up a file and I've centralized one of my pawns. This pawn can be a bit of a weakness, but okay. Now, watch this pawn guards f5 now. And that's nice. So let's see. I think I'll play queen to e8. That guards the pawn. So watches this knight. And I'm planning on coming here, perhaps. Okay, where's my bishop go? It would... Yeah, I'd rather come back here so d4 doesn't come with the tempo of my bishop. I think I want to get a knight right here. So let's start that with knight e7, and we're going to go to g6 and then f4, hopefully. And I can still go knight g6 here. I'm happy to trade knights because my queen can recapture and go where she wants to go. In which case, I've got prospects of like pushing h5, h4 on the king side. And that's an ambitious idea. But I think once this f file opens up, it's a good plan for black to try to drum up some kind of kingside attack. Okay, well, the plan B here instead is to get the knight to f4. Maybe he'll simply take it. Then our pawns will be fixed, but I'll have this nice advanced f-pawn. Okay. He wants to go knight here, but that just hung this pawn. So I can take right here, and then if he goes knight g5, I've got a knight back to c5, which not only attacks the queen, but guards e6 in the meantime. So let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it. Now it's nice that my queen is sitting here guarding e6. He does have knight. Okay. He also has knight to f5. But this looks like it solves all my problems. Now, once he moves his queen, though, I need to watch out for this fork. I probably need to get bishop b6 in. Or maybe I go b4 myself? Oh, no, that leads to forks. That's no good because b4 takes, bishop takes a3. My bishop has to come back here, and I'm getting forked with b4. So, I could just kick the knight. Yeah, let's kick the knight. Oh, no, I better play this first. Hold on. He can get it after b4. He can get, my knight will have to go somewhere, and then he can play queen back here. You know, I guess I have d5 then, don't I? Yeah, because he's not hitting e5 anymore. Okay, let's drop back. We'll let this knight hang out there for a moment. Got the pawn. White has a bit of an initiative. Okay. Does my knight want to come to a4? Hitting a weakness, but also kind of out of the game there. There isn't much future on d7 either, and definitely not b7, because this pawn just shuts out everything that knight could be doing. Unless there's this path. Pretty slow. Pretty slow. I can't play h6 now because he'll take here and he's still hitting the bishop. Okay, a4 it is. I don't want to get too far behind on time. This is an active piece. It's hitting this pawn. Yep, I expected that, and now I've got d5. Now knight f3 would keep things interesting. There'd probably be a lot of exchanges in the center. The thing is, after knight f3, how do I defend e5? Probably just taking here is my best bet. But if he takes here, then I undouble, and I've got this nice center duo, and my queen actually supports that pawn. So I think I'm going to retain my pawn. That's an interesting try. Okay, well, I would love to trade bishops on b6. I'll just take with the knight. I am not going to allow him to open up his rook. What do I want to do that's useful here? Can I go c5? Yeah, that actually looks really good, because then I'm threatening c4, taking all his pressure away. Yeah, okay. And that bishop is defended. Counterintuitive as that is, you got to watch out for these backwards moves, backwards knight moves. They're pretty tough. I actually have more of a hard time with backwards bishop and queen moves. But all the backwards moves take some getting used to. 20 years of getting used to at least, apparently. Okay, we're going to get c4 in. I don't know what good that did. Oh, he thought I was going to take on b4. No, sir, we're going with this. Wow, now we've got d4. And we're just looking really good here. Just expanding with our central pawn mass. I think he needs to take. And the threat is, if he doesn't take, I'm just going to push d3, actually. And I might just do that anyway. So maybe, Once he moves the bishop, I'll just get e5 in. And I really just taken over the whole board here. So bishop f4 is no good because I just get e5 with the tempo. Probably bishop wants to go to d2. Maybe he's considering... oh, really? Have I missed something? What's the plan? Once he plays, I'll just play e5 and cement that bishop in. And so he can't play e5. Yeah. I can always swing the rook to d8, but I wanted to get e5 in first. I'm up a whole piece now, so as long as I just make sensible moves, I'll be fine. Okay, let's bring our rook over. It's the move we wanted to make anyway. That knight has no future on g5, does it? Okay. Let's kick the knight now. And now if he comes back here, oh, then I can't take, can I? Okay, this is good. Now my bishop's got his other knight pinned. And it looks dangerous. Actually, yeah, this looks dangerous, but there's forks. I mean, he has a fork, but I have this fork myself. His knight can... His knight can come back to f4, but I don't think it'll save him. I have to admit, I was a little sloppy and I didn't see all that after I hit the knight there. But, you know, being up a piece helps to begin with. So he's got to take with the king. That's the only reasonable move. The only line that looks like it has a shot is takes, and then queen check, and then knight back. Trouble is, knight check. Hits both his pin knight and his king. And I'm just picking up another piece. All right, well, maybe he's gonna just let the clock run here. I hope not. But anyway, that gives us a minute to look through the game. So one of the nice things about the oh, here we go. Oh, he didn't go for it. Okay, thankfully this bishop watches e5. That's actually important here. I could force a queen trade. That seems like a safe way to go right now. More pawns, more pieces. Actually, pawns are even, but I have 2 extra pieces. And this, I mean, he can either trade queens or not get my rook here. This queen doesn't have many options. He doesn't want to trade it. The only option is c1 or a2. So when you're up material, it's good to trade queens. Okay, I can be really tricky here and play. Let's just take the knight. Well, yeah, I'm gonna take the knight. If rook here, then knight takes e5 is killer. Knight takes e4, I should say. I probably could have just easily won by pushing here and then planning to get my bishop here, and then I can play a knight either here or there. And his knight down here is kind of immaterial at that point. But let's just take the material. Okay, you can take the bishop. I'll take a queen. This knight will defend both. Want to do this with the knight? Yeah, let's just grab up more stuff. I'm threatening this fork. Okay, yeah, knight b7. Knight b2 is coming. So white resigned. Okay, solid game. Another good Alekhine. Well, I mean, right here it's an Alekhine, but so many white players will do this. If you start playing the Alekhine's defense, it's only about half the time that they actually play the best move and push. Let's bring up the analysis board. Only about half the time, at my level anyway. They're thinking things like, oh, he knows this better, and it makes sense. They're thinking, I know the opening better, and this is what I want, right? Something like this main line. But trust me, white is better here. I mean, it's your eyes do not deceive you. The Alekhine is cheeky because black's down a lot of tempo for development. Look, white's bishops are ready to come out. The only thing giving black some kind of compensation here is that white is presenting me a center that I can chip away at immediately with moves like d6. But anyway, a lot of people will just defend the pawn instead and say, no, I don't want to play that game. But here's where the clever repertoire selections come in. So my repertoire, I've played the Vienna game forever as white, which against e5. I'm picking up alternatives now, but I played the Vienna game. And when I meet the Vienna game, which is very rare, as when I'm black, I go with knight f6. And there's many ways white can go here. But one of the ways that someone who plays the Vienna will never go is the 4 knights with knight to f3. What I play as white here, I play either f4, the Vienna gambit, which is a very trappy line, or bishop to c4, which actually invites a lot of trouble with something called the Frankenstein-Dracula variation, but that's for another time. The four knights is pretty dull, and probably white doesn't play the four knights, right? But if you play your repertoire like this, you'll get some experience in the four knights. I have a lot of four knights games that arise from the Alekhine. The other thing I can do as black, if I don't want that, is I can play this, and that can often transpose to something like a French through these kinds of things. And I used to play the classical French, right? It's nice to have a repertoire. And at this point, white might not know what he's doing in the classical French because he might play something completely different against the French other than knight c3. But now that he's played knight c3 here, he's committed to it. So the big lesson here is you can build a repertoire and choose openings that can transpose to each other and put your opponent in places they're not comfortable. So Alekhine automatically kind of makes a lot of opponents uncomfortable. They don't want to go into the main lines with e5, so they do this. And then, once again, I get them in my comfort zone. This is one of the major important considerations when you choose a repertoire, is getting to positions you feel comfortable playing and getting your opponent out of positions that they might feel comfortable playing. So that's the point of playing offbeat openings like the Alekhine or the Vienna game as white. And a lot of roads lead to the four knights. So know your four knights. This is the Spanish four knights. I copied. Here the main move is castles or d3. Castles, then black castles, d3, then d6. And you can copy for quite a while as black. Okay, but he played h3. This is a good game to kind of illustrate that h3, he had nothing to fear. He really had nothing to fear from me playing a bishop here, especially right now, or a knight. Like, there's no reason to play h3 right now because I haven't even played d6 yet. But even if I, at this point, playing h3, bishop g4 isn't really a threat. Say the pawn is back on h2. Because you can just chop this knight on c6. The threat would be this knight comes in to d4. Or you can back the bishop off to e2, and there's no more pin anymore, right? So yeah, I'm not a big fan of playing those moves early, h3, h6, a3, h6, h6, to prevent opponent's pieces going on b4 or g4. I just think it's more worth your time to get your pieces out. Now here's a different kind of case where I'm actually hitting the bishop, right? So he could take the knight, and then I'd have the pair of bishops, and I'd have another pawn in the center, and I'd have an open b file. So that would be very happy for me. But this was my plan here, and I think knight g5 is actually good here. I don't think I have anything better. Well, maybe I go like queen d7 or something, and letting him have the choice of which piece he wants to get rid of. But I don't think I'd want to leave that bishop unopposed on that powerful diagonal. So I'd probably take. But then he gets this nice rook activation right out of the gate. So it's not an immediate problem because there's no pin on this pawn because my back rank is getting cleared out. But I mean, I might be able to gain some time with h6, somewhat useful move, and he's made a retreating move back to where he came from. And this is probably fine for black too, but I think that was a better approach for white. This I wasn't such a fan of because this is what I wanted when I played bishop e6. Opening this file for my rook, another central pawn. And we saw in the game how that can really turn into a steamroller of pawns. I've got a central majority here. And I've got an open file for my rook. White doesn't have those, right? Double pawns, I harp on this all the time. Double pawns are not an inherent weakness. They are not an inherent weakness. They often give more than they take. In other words, I've been given more central control. I've been given an open file for my rook. And an open, in this case, I've got this route for my queen, potential too. Yeah, so let's see what the computer thinks about this position. Okay, it likes white, but, only the usual amount. Nobody's made any big mistakes here. Okay, I spent a lot of time here. Ooh, bishop b6 was, yeah, probably better. Man, that knight had quite the hero's journey. Well, he wasted some knight moves as well. Okay, I could have played h6 here, but I went ahead and grabbed that free pawn. Yeah, queen. I think white just overlooked that. Queen to b6, b3 gives up a pawn, or maybe he thought, maybe he didn't look quite far enough ahead, and he saw that, oh, I can't defend this pawn again, but I really can with this nice knight move. And yeah, bishop b6. I was also curious about h6 here, but b4 comes, and now, yeah, I'm losing that pawn back. g4, yeah. Okay, this isn't terrible. I'm still up a pawn, but no more than that according to the computer. Keeping yeah, keeping that alive this way is better. Okay, knight a4. Really, c5. Oh, the point. Well, what is the point of c5? Let's say, so if knight takes here, then this is going to cut the queen off from the knight, and I'm just winning that knight now. So queen takes with check seems to make more sense to me. And after these exchanges, rook hits the knight has to go back to g5. We kick it, it has to go here. And then what? Now we just take on, okay, take on c3, and we're hitting this one twice. Wow, big advantage for black here. Let's see, I'm up one pawn, but that could be another pawn pretty quick. Taking here. Now d takes, really. I would take with the bishop. D takes creates a nice passed, connected, protected pawn. Okay. Yeah, that's a huge advantage. So yeah, not worrying about that e6 pawn, apparently. But I did worry about it. I went with d5. That's a good move. It's a good move. It likes bishop takes e3. Wow, it says black has an enormous advantage after this. Did I miss some tactics? Knight b6. Oh, that knight just has a juicy square on c4, and we're going to hit that e3 pawn. Huh. And c4, the knight on c4 also protects this. Queen g6. Oh, so part of that value of bishop takes e3, which I didn't like, I didn't want to open up his rook for him, is to remove the protection from this knight. Oh, is this a threat already? Well, yeah, he's got to go knight takes c6, and then I get both knights. But he gets a pawn. Well, I get one too. Oh, we're going to take that. Wow, okay, just cleaning up all the pawns here. All right. I didn't go for bishop takes. I went for c5. Okay, the computer doesn't like that as much. I still got an advantage. But pawn up mode, I just going to try to simplify. What I liked about this is that I'm once again hitting the queen here. Queen to b4. Queen c6. Interesting. I suppose that holds things together. And then we're planning on a4 maybe? a5? Alright. We haven't played the best for white. Apparently it's better for him to go e takes d5. E takes d5 again. This seems to just give me a picturesque position, though. Knight 5 to e4. Oh, okay, a fork. Okay, interesting stuff. I'm still okay, but I don't know why a3. That didn't seem to make any sense. It just loses the thread completely. Seems like a random nothing move. Yeah, now c4, and then d4 comes charging in. Actually, still likes bishop e3 better. But d4, it's just too good to pass up here. And then, yeah, he gave up. Let's look at, oh, e5 was the computer's line. This maybe is a little more immediate. Oh, man. d3. Queen's got to go to d1. We get bishop d4 anyway. b1. I'm just gonna play rook c8, and we're gonna push this all the way down. Ooh, looking nasty for sure. So he just took, and from here, there's not too much going on. A little bit of a neat tactic here. Suppose I could just as easily play queen d3 and d6 right here. But this is just as well. I don't want to see this line here. I could just go here. Still plenty winning. Knight g6. And then this is my plan. Knight e5, and I've just got a whole queen here. Doesn't even want me to queen. Yeah. Okay. Here's how it went instead. Yeah. Knight to c3 was good enough. b2. Yeah, it's all good. All right. Thanks for watching, folks. I had a feisty time. I will see you next time.